Hello everyone, welcome into Above My Pay Grade. My name is Eric. Video today about some things you might have heard in the news and don't totally understand. You may have heard economists and pundits on the news talk about the debt bubble or derivatives. And if you're like me, you hear these things and you're like, what the heck are they talking about? And the average person doesn't have derivatives in their life. And so they operate on a, paycheck to paycheck kind of basis. They pay their bills, etc. But imagine for a second, you were one of three people, and you went to the bank and you got a loan. Say that loan was for $100. And then you took that $100 and you gave that, let's say $50 of that to your friend. And you are essentially loaning part of that $100 to your friend for an interest rate. So you're trying to make a little profit. Not only did you loan it, but now your friend with the $50 wants to loan it again. So he loans out half. He loans $25 to another friend. So now there's three loans on essentially one loan with the bank. All's great. All is great if everyone pays each other back. But what happens if somebody defaults? What happens? If the guy with the $25 loan defaults, the guy with the $50 loan defaults, and so on and so forth. And this is kind of the contagion that people refer to when they talk about the debt bubble. Because our banking system, they build debt on top of debt on top of debt. And so not only in that example is debt being built on top of debt, now there's something called the derivatives market, which is people betting on the debt. Let's say there's a group of people that want to bet that guy number 3 is going to default. So a bank or a stockbroker creates a derivative, and you're able to put money into that. In the the derivatives market, we don't have a hard and fast number on it, but it's in the quadrillion dollars. Quadrillion. So when people say contagion and debt bubble, most of your average people are like, what the heck? But once you realize what degenerates our banking system is, and how debt gets built on top of more debt, then you realize, oh, yeah, that's bound to fail. And a lot of people know it's bound to fail, by the way, including politicians. So what do these banks do? Well, in 2008, the Troubled Asset Relief Program came out, or TARP, and these banks who had built all these derivatives and mortgage-backed securities and were taking insane undue risk, all right? Putting it all on black or red or whatnot. Well, they had a debt contagion bubble where they weren't able to pay back their debts, and therefore they defaulted. And you, in the middle class, paid for that. Great to be a bank, isn't it? If I was a bank, it's the best business in the world. You can take all this risk and have the taxpayer bail you out. It's pretty ridiculous. But the more you realize that these banks and these politicians and the Fed realizes they can't raise interest rates. And that's why people are talking about this debt bubble. Because part of it, if you build debt on top of debt on top of debt, part of that means what happens if in order to service that debt, you need to have low interest rates, very low interest rates. And now the Fed is raising them. So you have people who have to take on more debt at a higher interest rate, which could also cause a debt contagion, which is why people think that the Fed's not going to actually do that. They're not going to actually raise interest rates to a point where it would cause this debt contagion, this debt market to implode. Because of all the people in the world, the entity that owns the most debt is your United States government. So they don't want to pay more on the debt because they would be insolvent. So, what do we think the Federal Reserve is going to do? Are they going to help out the middle class and the poor by lowering inflation? Or are they going to reverse course and help out economically illiterate politicians by lowering interest rates again? And not only helps out politicians, it helps out the banks as well. My money is on that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Well, the further you dig into derivatives markets and how much debt is built off of one asset and bets on top of bets on top of bets, you start to think, is the banking system a casino? Is this Caesar's Palace? No. It's the bank that you trust your dollars with. Something to think about. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.